All right, hello everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. All right, tonight I'm just adjusting my camera just a tad bit here. All right, just to get everything in frame here. All right, so tonight we're going to be playing around with the metallic inks from Lisa Horton. Um, I was going to do something completely different, but because we talked about them in happy hour, I just thought maybe, just maybe, we should focus on them this evening. So I'm just going to fix my camera here. All right, I think we're good now. All right, so welcome to everyone that is joining us live and everyone that's watching on the replay. Hopefully you'll learn a thing or two about the metallic inks. We're also going to be working with some of the embossing folders. We're going to kind of revisit. It's been a while since we've done anything with the Lisa Horton embossing folder, so we're going to do that and showing you a few little techniques. All right, so that's where we're going this evening. So it's kind of an impromptu What's Up Wednesday. Don't have a real game plan. I do have some ideas of what I'm going to do, but we'll see how the evening takes us. All right. So let's talk about these metallic inks from Lisa Horton. And I really didn't do too much with these guys when they first came out. It was one of those things that I really wanted to. I'm echoing. All right. Is it that bad? All right. Maybe I need to get my earbuds for a second. Let me just see what I can do here. All right, I'm going to see if I can get my earbuds, and then maybe that will help with the echoing. So just give me a second, guys. Let's just hope they're charged. All right, let's see if this will work.
All right, how's that?
Oh, no. Is that
better?
All right, I'm going to see if this is better. You're going to tell me. And if it's not, we're going to adjust a few things here. So I'm going to wait on you. Am I still echoing? Nope. Okay. Awesome. I guess that worked then. Okay. So let's talk about these metallic inks. When they first came out, like I said, I really didn't focus on them. Oh, it's worse. Okay, one moment. Okay, let's try this now. Is that better? All right. Here we go. Is this better? I'm hoping so. No. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to...
Let's see if this works. All right, how's this now? I think I got it, guys. I think I got it. All right, let's see. I think I got this now. I turned off something, so it's been a while since I did. Okay, I think we're good. Yay! All right, I got it. All right, so no, I don't know what's going on. Everyone's saying yes and no, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna just keep on going and see if it is better. Now it really repeats. All right. Better now. Okay, we're good now. I think we're good. I think there's probably just a time lag there. And I think we're good now. So, uh-oh. I just pushed something and that is not good. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so going back to the metallic ink. So like I really didn't do anything with these until I started playing with them. And these are really awesome. I think I showed them very briefly on a What's Up Wednesday. Um, and um, and that was it. I didn't go and do it anymore. So the more I played with them, it is amazing, these inks. All right. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to play around with them. We're going to use them with embossing folders. All right. That's where we're going. So I want to just talk about the colors. There is a purple. There's kind of like this kind of rose gold. It's called Fool's Gold. It's beautiful. Love Struck is actually a pink. All right. I think the lid here is a little deceiving. We've got a beautiful orange, a bright yellow. Titanium is kind of like a dark gray. And then there is a bronze, which is an absolutely beautiful color. Coastline, beautiful blue. Mojito, all right, which is a great green. And then probably my favorite is verdigris. And that's kind of that tealy green. All right. So only 10 colors in the collection. And they are really awesome. Now, these are really pigmented. They are a pigment ink. That means they're a slow drying ink. And that means you can emboss with them. All right, so you could stamp with these and put embossing powder on it. Now, I wouldn't probably put a colored embossing powder on top. I would stick with a clear, so you still get that true metallic coming through. But you can blend with them. You can stamp with them. You can better press with them. All right, which are beautiful. And we did that over the weekend at Scrap Fest. We're going to use them to color die cuts. We're going to use them through a stencil this evening. And you're going to see that true metallic. What I love about them is how they work on white cardstock, and then how they are so awesome on black cardstock. So, all right, so that is what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to be using a couple of different embossing folders. This one is a brand new one from Lisa Horton, and I love this one. This one came home with me right away, and this one's called Wildflowers. All right, so it's got the 3D embossing folder, and this one just has a layering stencil with it. So we're going to play around with that one. And then I brought out an old one, which is one of my favorites. And I can't say that the Marigold's one of my favorite florals, but I love how this turns out. So we're bringing this one back. Now, this one is an embossing folder, and it's got the die with it, and then it's got layering stencils. So we're going to play around with both of them. All right, so let's get started. Let's do the Marigold first. So I'm going to put this one to the side. And we're going to start with, now there's two ways that you can do the embossing. Actually, I'm going to die cut this out. So, all right. So, sorry, I'm just rethinking of how I'm doing this. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. If you are just embossing a piece of paper and you weren't going to die cut this out, you can emboss and then do your stenciling over top, or you can stencil first and then emboss. It's completely up to you. There's no wrong way of doing that. It's completely up to you. So you can emboss first, then stencil, or stencil first, then emboss. So that is. But when the die cut comes in, you really need to die cut first. All right, because you don't want to emboss and then die cut, because then you'll lose your embossing. All right, so you can still do your stenciling first, and then you can die cut, and then you can place it in your embossing folder. And that's what I'm going to do first. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm using. I pulled this out, guys. The Lisa Horton kind of. I don't even know what this is called, but this is her kind of platform, stamping platform and such. I'm just using it because her stencils will line up with this. So that's where I'm going with this. So I'm just going to open this up and let's get going. All right. So grabbing a piece of cardstock, I'm just going to line this up. Now, if you don't have one of these stamping apparatuses, no worries. You just tape it down on your glass mat and tape down your stencils. That's not a big deal. All right, so there are 6 stencils in this one, and you just follow suit. 1 to 6. I am going to put my paper this way because that's how the stencils are. All right, so numbers are in the top right hand corner with these ones. So I am just going to start with number 1. I'm going to place this on there. I don't have to worry about taping this because it's on the hinge system, all right? Again, if you did not have this apparatus, and you don't need to have this apparatus, it's just handy to have if you have a lot of Lisa Horton products, which I do. That's why I own it. But you could definitely just tape this down, all right? Or use your Make Art board with the magnets, whatever floats your boat with stencils, all right? So this one here is going to start with the stem, all right? So we're going to do kind of the stems and the kind of the base of that floral. So we're going to choose a green. So I'm going to go with Mojito on this one, all right? So I'm just going to grab, now I am using Lisa Horton's stencil brushes only because we had them, and I really want to try them out because I had one in my stash that I probably used very briefly, but I really wanted to try these out as well. So I know Lisa uses them all the time in her demos, and she makes them look so easy. And you know what? They are pretty awesome. All right. So I've picked up that Mojito color, and I'm just using the stencil brush to go round and round over top of the openings of the stencil. All right. And I'm going to reload when I need to. I'm going to have this pretty intense in the green. I really want that metallic to show up. So I am just going to go round and round. Now, remember, when we go through stencils and such, I like to go in a rotating motion forwards and backwards. It means clockwise and counterclockwise. And that way you are going to hit every edge of that stencil. All right. And you'll have a nice, clean, crisp image. All right. So that is stencil number 1. And take a look at this, guys. I don't know if the camera can pick up on how beautiful and that metallic is. I don't want to take my paper off because it's there, but let me see if I can raise this up. All right. I don't know if you can see that shine. I don't think the camera's picking it up. It is gorgeous, though. Really, it is. Maybe once we get more stuff on there, you're going to be able to see that metallic. All right. So that was number 1. And then we're going to go into number 2. So I'm just going to lay my stencil on here. All right. Now, number 2, if I look on the design here, they've done that base yellow, even on the leaves and such. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to move on to that sunshine. I think it's, yep, that's what it's called, sunshine. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my stencil brush. And let's pick this up. All right. So you can see that these stencils blend beautifully. All right, so I'm just blending it through the opening. Oh, this one's really, they are really pigmented. As you can see, that yellow is going on super bright. But they just, oh my gosh, they're beautiful. So now you have to watch me just do the stenciling. I promise it will get better as I go. Okay, so I'm going to do these leaves. Again, we're doing them in kind of the yellow. Now, I'm going to rush this a little bit, so I may not get full coverage because there are a few things I really want to get to tonight. And if there's 6 stencils, that's going to take some time. So I'm going to do this really, really quickly. But this is going on beautifully. I apologize. I am shaking the camera. All right. Okay, I think I have that fully covered. I'm just going to go over it one more time, just rotating back and forth. I'm not too concerned if I have full coverage because we have to put another layer on top anyway. So, okay, so let me just take that off. And I don't know if the camera will pick up on that. It is absolutely beautiful. I got to move my stencils here. All right, so I won't lift up. I'm just going to carry on. Okay, so that was number 2. Now we're going to do number 3. Now that number 3, now I'm going to go ahead and do the orange on top of this. All right, so I'm going to grab my orange and ooh, that one's super pigmented. All right, I think I might just dab off a little bit on there. I don't know if you can see that metallic. It is absolutely stunning. All right, so I'm just going to go over top and now this, and this is where the blending, I mean, the cool thing about Lisa Horton inks is that it kind of reactivates itself, all right? Now these are slow drying inks, all right? So they're still fairly wet when I'm applying this color over top. But what will happen is that they will start blending together, all right? Um, and layer on top of one another, which are just fun. Fun, fun, fun. All right. All right, so we have that. And I'm just going over for good measure. All right, and let's take that off. Oh, there we go. Now, when you do just the stencils themselves, it looks a little flat. I'm not going to lie. It's not until you do the embossing on these ones that this marigold will come to life. All right, so we're going to do our next layer. I'm going to go back to that green. And this is going to add a little bit of green on those leaves now. So I'm just going to grab my green and let's just go through this. I love layering stencils. I just love, love, love layering stencils. I love the clean look of it when you're all done. It looks like you're a pro, and really you're not, but you look like a pro. Okay, so I'm doing green on the leaves, but on the inside here, I think I'm going to use that fool's gold in there rather than the green, because I think the green and the orange are just going to create kind of a muddy color, and I don't want that. All right, so there's that. So I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab some fool's gold here. I think that's fool's gold. Doesn't say on the back. Okay, so there's that. All right, we're getting to the little nitty gritties now. All right, so like stencil 5 has one little spot on there, and that is underneath the floral here. I don't even know what this is. I'm going to do it the same color, just a little lighter. Okay, there's that. And then finally, number 6 is going to be just kind of the insides of the florals. And again, I think I'm just going to use that fool's gold again. All right. In here, I'm going to use a fool's gold. And on this one, I'm going to use a fool's gold. And then I think on the buds here, I'm going to go in with the orange. So it's whatever's left on my brush. Oh, maybe I need to reload. All right, so let's take a look at our finished marigolds, just the stencil part, all right? All right, so let's see if you can see that metallic sheen on there, all right? Can you see that? Oh, I saw just a glimpse of it. The light was catching it, but there is that. I don't have perfect lighting in here, but you can see a little bit of the sheen there, all right? As I kind of bend it back and forth. All right, so there's that. So let's go ahead now and have some fun and die cut this out, and then we're going to emboss it. And this is where the magic comes with her embossing folders. So I'm going to grab the die and I'm going to die cut it first. So I'm going to tape this down. All right, so let's just tape this down. I don't want this to move on me. So I'm just going to center this as best I can. That looks okay. And then I'm going to do a little tape there to hold it down. Let's move this out of the way. And then I'm going to grab my die cut machine and let's die cut this out. Oops. Now it is a slow drying ink, but honestly, I find that, it's a faster slow drying ink, if that makes any sense. Usually pigment ink will stay wet for, well, they say at least 10 minutes, but I find this one here dries fairly quickly. So I don't worry about it kind of transferring. If it was really wet, you would see some ink on my plate here and it's not there. So to me, it dries fairly quickly. All right, so it's coming to life, our marigold. I mean, that's beautiful, die cut out, really, really nice. But let's go ahead and emboss it now. All right, so what I like to do, when I have an inky image like this, I never want to spritz the top of it. I spritz it back when I like to spritz my embossing, my paper that when I emboss. So I'm just going to spritz the back just to help those paper fibers just stretch and such with the embossing folder. All right, so I've spritzed that. Now what do I do with the embossing folder? All right, so here's the embossing folder. So it will only match up one way, all right? So if it doesn't match up the first way, as you can see, it's not matching up here. You're gonna flip it around so that your image is going to then match up. And you're gonna just line this up as best you can, all right? So just shimmy, shimmy until it's just right and that you're happy with it. All right, so I always check everything left, right, top, and bottom. All right, I'm gonna close this up. And now we're going to emboss this. Now I can never remember the sandwich for this, so I'm going to start with, this is not a true 3D embossing folder like Spellbinders. It's not as thick. So I think this is the sandwich. I will know once I start going. Yeah, this is the sandwich. All right, so I'm going to go forwards and then I'm going to go backwards because I really want all that detail to be embossed. And, oh, now take a look at that. Look at that embossing on there. It's beautiful. Look at it. It looks like a real marigold now, right? Like just stunning. Now I will show you my embossing folder. I did get a little ink. You can see that there's a little bit of staining on there. That means the ink is still wet, okay? But that will clean up nicely just with a cloth. But look how beautiful that is and with the metallic inks. I don't know if the camera is really showing that on there. I'll try to take pictures. See if I can. No, it's not getting out of focus now. But there's a beautiful shimmer to them. All right. Nice, bright, bold colors. How beautiful is that? Okay, I'm just going to put that to the side because I also want to show you that you can have some fun with die cuts with this as well and coloring die cuts. So this is an older die. We don't have this one in stock, but we could definitely get it in stock. It's one of my favorites because I love ferns. All right, so this is just a die from Lisa Horton, and they're just ferns, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and just take a piece of green cardstock. I like doing this tone on tone, so I'm just going to place that on there. That just fits. And I'm going to die cut these out. All right, so. And we're going to create a little cluster for our card front using that marigold and then using these a fern or this fern. I need to put my desktop down a little bit. It's a little too high for me to get this die cut. All right, there we go. Woo, that was a workout. All right, so let's see. Is this die cut out of the way? Yes. Okay, I'm going to color both. I don't know if I'm going to use both, but this is just another great way of using the metallic inks. The more ways I show you how versatile these inks, the more you're going to want them. So, all right, I'm just going to move that out of the way. And so I have these lovely die cuts that we're going to kind of integrate with this as a background with our marigolds. But I want them to shimmer as well. So I'm just going to grab my green again, and I'm going to just pick up my brush. Now, usually I would use probably my finger daubers for this, but we're just going to use the ink brush that I have here, and I'm just going to apply the ink directly on there. And this is just going to make it shimmery, and it's the fact that I cut it out of green cardstock just helps if you don't get full coverage with your ink. So I'm just going to, I have to be gentle that I don't rip off any of these little leaves. But you can see now I'm getting a shimmer to this lovely die cut, all right? So just a great way to add a little bit of specialness to your die cuts just with a little bit of ink, all right? So, okay, maybe I will only do one just for time's sake. I can do the other one off camera. You get it all. And you can see all the ink that is coming off. These are just so saturated with ink. They're just fabulous. Now, I know some people have been asking me about re-inkers. They are coming. They release the inks first, and then in hopes that you won't need the re-inkers right away, but the re-inkers will come out. All right, so that is colored. And again, you can see some light tones and some dark tones in there. I've gone heavier with the ink, or I didn't cover all the way to the edges, and I'm cool with that. And that is going to then kind of, I'll incorporate that with that, and we've got this shimmery goodness going on. All right, so there it is on white paper. All right, the metallic inks and using the embossing folder, and then on a colored one. All right, so I'm going to put this together off camera. I'll create something with that. So that's the first way I wanted to show you how I'm using the inks. All right, or two ways actually, on white paper through a stencil, and then on a die cut. I'm just going to clean up my mess here. Oh, well, you know what? I might take this as an opportunity. What we found is that these pigment inks also do some loveliness with water. So I've just spritzed that. And if you had a background, where is my background? I just have a little piece here. I'm just going to dip this in. All right. And honestly, you get a subdued kind of color, but as that dries, you will have a little bit of shimmer to that as well. So you can do some really fantastic backgrounds using that dipping technique. And that's just a great way of cleaning that ink off your craft mat and using it all up. So that will dry. We can do something really cool with that one. So I'm just going to let that dry. Now I can clean this up. So let me just get a cloth and let's continue on. All right. So we've done it on white paper and through a stencil, and we've done it on colored cardstock and die cut it. Now let's move on to black paper. All right. I want to show you how wonderful these are on black paper. All right. So these people ask, what are the differences between these and the interference inks? Well, the interference inks actually change color when you use them on a white paper. They'll be one color, and when you do them on a dark paper like black, they will change color. Those are the interference inks, all right? They're metallic. I don't find them as metallic as these ones, but they are really fun to play around with. But these ones here will not change color. The green will stay green, all right, whether it be on white or on black. So let's take a look at this. All right, so I have just a 6x6. This is just plain black cardstock. And we're going to do that other embossing folder, the one I love so much, which is the wildflowers, all right? So we're going to actually do the same thing. We're going to stencil this, and then I will emboss it, all right? So this one here, I'm going to start with the stenciling, and then I will emboss it. That's kind of like what I do. I know other people will emboss first and then color, but all right. So I'm just going to place my paper there, and then my stencil is going to go over top. All right, I may need to trim this down a little bit. The newer embossing folders from or stencil sets from Lisa Horton actually will tell you on the back. Now they have a step-by-step, you know, which colors you should use and such. So which is really nice. So, you know, they're all on there. So there's 6 stencils on this one. We're going to start with the green. All right, so we're going to go with Mojito and take a look at this. Watch this on the black. All right, so here I go. Okay, I have to be gentle because that little vein there is delicate. So I'm just going to be very delicate when I brush that on. All right, so that's the one side. Yeah, Marlene, I'm just seeing your comment now. Yeah, I just use water to clean it. These are pigment inks, and they clean up really well with water. I can't say that is all for all pigment inks, but these ones clean up with water, which is nice. All right. That was just a happy mistake. that we figured out we can use water with them, which is kind of cool. So, okay, I've done all the little leaves with the veins now, so I can just not be so gentle no more. I can just slap this ink on. And wait till I take this off, and you'll see how that metallic is on the black. I guess I shouldn't have picked a stencil that has so many openings. Silly, silly me. All right, one more. I'm trying to get really good coverage on here so you can see that metallic. All right, so I'm just going to just go over one more time. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this, everyone? Here we go. Oh, I forgot these little guys, the little spaces. Okay. Got excited there. All right, now we're good. Okay, now we can take this off. I'll clean that off and take a look. Oh, I can't move that. I can't take that off. All right. You see that? Now you can really see that metallic. All right. So there it is on the black. Just lovely. I'll clean my stencils afterwards. Okay, so we're going to go into number 2 now. So I'm going to put that on. We're going to switch. We're going to use that verdigris now. I love this color. It's like a tealy green. Love it, love it, love it. It's the color of my Jeep. That's what I say. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead now and start applying that. Again, same thing, picking it up with a stencil. For something like this, I probably should have picked a bigger brush to go because you got bigger areas. But we're going to use these brushes here. Problem with using new brushes, it takes a while for the ink to really kind of saturate those bristles too. So it's probably taking me a little bit longer. I always like to have a brush for every color family. And again, these brushes, you would dedicate one set of brushes to these inks, all right? Because of the pigments in there. All right, now we're going to do this long one here on the side. I haven't seen this this folder done yet, so I just love the look of this folder. So this is going to be my aha moment when it's all done. Okay, so bigger areas are done. I'm going to do these smaller areas. Check for questions. I think we're all good. Make sure I got all the areas here, these little guys here, and then we'll take this one off and have that aha moment. I'm going to go over one more time for good measure. Okay, all right, number 2, done. Actually, I should have probably done those pinks. Now that I see that, I should have done that pink, but that's okay. We're going to just work with the greens and the blues on this one, I think. All right, next one is number 3. I wasn't looking at my little guide. Okay, what are we doing on this one? I think I am going to do these longer ones. These we're going to do in that tealy green. All right, and then let's do, you know what? I think I'm going to switch to blue now because I think it's going to be kind of fun in these blue and greens. I'm running out of brushes here. Okay, let me just grab another brush here that's All right, this one is, all right. Let's do these in blues. Not your typical maybe floral color, leaf colors, but it'll still look pretty cool, I think. All right, what are these little guys? Well, we're going to do them blue. I don't know exactly what they are, but we're going to do them blue. And I think these leaves up here, let's change it up a little bit and let's do yellow on them, all right? So, oh, my brush fell apart. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to be gentle with these because they do have that vein in there. But the yellow really shows up on the black. So I better press with these inks too, and they are stunning when you better press with them, even on black. We know that the better press has nice fine lines with some designs and all that. It is stunning how this looks on the black. Okay, yellow is done. Let's remove this stencil and then go to our next one. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Okay, going to number 4. We're going to do this, and this is going to be the kind of the branches here. So I think I'm going to change that up into the bronze. All right, and let's grab this one here. And even though this is a dark color, it's still going to show up on the black. This is where having a smaller brush like this works really well on something so so tiny and slender, and there's a brush for everything. I tell you that all the time. Got to have all these different brushes for all your different inks and all the different purposes. Just makes it a little bit easier. All right, so we've got those two. And then I'm going to go in with, ooh, that was not lined up properly. I had it not sticking on that one. All right, that's okay. I didn't have my stencil down flat, so it was just not lined up properly, but hopefully we won't be too far off. Okay, we got those done. And I'm just going to check questions. It does have an embossing folder. Wait, this is what I'm like. I cannot wait to emboss this one because it's really going to just pop the details. All right. I just have this one section to do, and this is going over those blue leaves. So I'm just going to take the same bronze over top. All right, we're just about at the aha moment, seeing how this all looks. We got 2 more stencils, but the other 2 stencils are minimal, all right? So be nice and quick. All right, so let's take that off. Ooh, oh my gosh. Sometimes I just amaze myself. All right, that looks awesome. Oh, wait till I bring it up to the camera, guys. It is stunning. All right, this one here now is going to be the rest of these kind of like little flowers. So I think I'm going to go back to the blue on this. All right, stencil is down. You can see, look at all that ink on there. That just goes on so lovely. All right, and then we have one more stencil. Oh my gosh. All right, and then this one here is just another layer on this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one in yellow, the top layer of this. All right, so let's just... Now what I can do is after I have my layer of yellow on there, I could actually go in with the green over there and they will kind of like mix and we'll mix a new color. So maybe I will do that so that the yellow is not so bright. Okay, so I've got that first layer of yellow. I'm just going to grab whatever's left on my green brush here and then just go over top of it. And we're just going to kind of mix just a tad bit of green in with that yellow, just toning it down. All right, let's take that off. Oh, lovely. All right, now I think I have them all done, all 6 stencils, and let me show you that. Look at how beautiful that is. All right, so that is the metallic inks on black paper. How stunning is that, right? And these stamp beautifully. So I think that, you know, you could stamp on black paper and it would be awesome. I would like a metallic white too, Glenna. There's not a metallic white yet, but I would really like that too. Okay, so let's take out my embossing machine now and let's get the embossing folder and let's emboss this. I tell you guys, these inks are just amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, again, you're going to take your panel and you're going to fit it in until it matches up. Now, it's a little bit more difficult to do it on the black, all right, because the embossing folder is a little cloudy, but you will get it just right, all right? Just make sure you're in the right lighting, and you'll see that it will just match up beautifully. You just have to make sure you've got good lighting. That's all right? So I think I am good. I say that and then I move it, right? Okay. Okay, we're going to just commit to it. Oh, I forgot to spray the back. All right, so let me spray the back. I'll realign it. Never spray the front because that's where your ink is and you don't want that to bleed or do anything wonky. All right, so I think I'm good there. I'm committing. And let's emboss. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Here we go. And I'm going to go back. Okay. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is stunning. Those embossing folders make a world of difference, don't they? Whoa. Okay. So let me just go back to a few questions here. Can you emboss first and then stencil? Yes, Lauren, you can. I stencil and then I emboss, but you can definitely emboss and then stencil. To each their own. All right. So yeah, you can do either or. And then Vicky asked, why do you spray water on the back of it? Okay, so normally whenever I do embossing, I will spritz my paper before I emboss, but because there's ink on top here, that's why I sprayed the back. A light misting of water will help break down the fibers in the paper, help the paper stretch so you get really nice embossing, nice crisp embossing. So that is why I spritz the back of it, all right? Isn't it gorgeous? I know, guys. These inks are just fabulous. All right, so I'll trim this down and then make something with it. It is just, I can just sit here and watch it all night. Okay, so we've done now the metallic inks on black paper through a stencil and embossed it. All right, we made it. Wow. So there is that. We've done the white paper. We've done colored cardstock. I'm going to show you a really cool technique now. All right, so I'm going to show you that you can blend with these inks a background, and then we're going to do a real cool embossing technique with it. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to show you. So let me get a piece of white paper. Okay, and let's do a blended background, and we're going to use our metallic ink. So what colors should we use? I got a mess going on. Let's use some of the other colors. Let's do, not titanium. I think we should do pink and purple and maybe pink, purple, and blue. Let's do that. All right, that one. Okay. I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to find some bigger brushes for this, just because. All right, so I'm going to pick up some of this ink, and you can see, I don't know if you can see the metallic in there. It is beautiful. All right, so we're going to do a blended background. Now, this will take a little bit of work, all right? So, oh, there we go. Okay. It's like when you first put that ink on the paper, it just wants to soak in, and then when you add more, then we get that saturation of color. All right. So all right, so I've got my first color down. I'm going to grab all this ink here. We don't want that to go to waste. All right, so you could do a lovely blended background in just one color. All right, and you're going to get that shimmer. We're going to add some more. So let me just grab another brush. So this one here, I'm going right over top of the blue, and you'll get somewhat of a blend. You're not going to get perfect blending, but for this technique, it's going to be okay, the technique I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to, you can see how intense those colors are though, right? Just lovely. So we we demoed this at Scrap Fest this weekend. We did some techniques with this. We better pressed with this, and honestly, on the Friday night I did like 80 make and takes, but we did that kind of watery technique on the back, so we didn't go through much ink. But on Saturday we did better press, and we used these two colors for sure, and then the bronze and green. I don't know, but we use these two colors. I can testify to this. And you can see that it's still like super. I did 120 make and takes. That's 60 presses, 60 plates we inked with this, and it's still going strong. That's why it's so pigmented and so saturated. I love these. What color? This is just my regular white cardstock. This is Nina 110 or 120 pound white. Nothing special. That's my go-to. I don't ever switch it up. That's just what I do. All right, and I'm going to grab my pink brush here, and now we're going to add some pink. And again, I'm not too concerned about having the perfect blend on this. I just want to get color down, and I want that color to be pretty saturated. I am totally using the wrong brushes. These are my like regular dye. I have to wash these afterwards, but I wasn't planning on. I didn't plan very well. I can't do a blended background with those little ones. We'll be here all night if I had to do that. So we do have a bundle special on here on these inks if you're really like wanting them. If you want all of them, we did put a bundle special on the website. You'll save 10% when you buy all 10 of them. I just wanted to point that out because we just added that today. So if you were on the fence about these and now you want them, we did give you a little bit of discount if you buy them all at once. Okay, it's not the perfect blend. That's okay. All right, so let me just get this out of the way. All right. It's not the perfect blend, but for this application, it's going to be fine. So let me just clean up my mess here. Again, lots of inky goodness here. We could dip into this. Do I have another piece of cardstock here? Well, you know what? I want to dip black in here. I want to see how this works on the black. If we'll get anything, even though we toned it down. Yeah, there's a little bit of shimmerness in there. Not, you probably won't see it until it dries. So I will just leave that and then we'll dry that and see if that works. On the white, it works lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my wildflower embossing folder. Okay, so there's two sides to embossing folder. One side will be the raised side and one side will be the kind of pushed in, the design will be pushed in. Okay, so that's the side that I want to work on. My paper is going to go here so that when the side that's pushed in is going to, it's kind of like we're debossing it, all right? That's what we're going to do. All right, so on the flat side, so everything is flat except for the pattern, we're going to ink this, and we're going to ink this with black ink. So I'm going to grab, sure, let's do VersaFine Clair. Sure, why not? All right, so I'm grabbing my ink pad, and I go in rotating motion. Or maybe my ink pad is not, oh, maybe I'm okay. Okay, so I go in rotating motions. Now this is the flat side, all right? So I'm just rubbing it flat against there, and you can see that I'm just coloring everything flat, all right? I'm not getting into the design. Okay, I'm going to go just a little bit heavier now, just to build up that black. I know this ink pad needs to be re-inked, so. Now, because I wasn't careful, I got a little bit of ink inside my leaves, so I'm just going to, okay. All right, so that is inked, and now I'm going to put my paper here, and we are going to close this up. Whoa. All right, and now I'm going to run it through my my die cut machine. This is wild, guys. This is wild. I love this technique. All right, so there's that. Any brush will work with these inks. It all depends on the technique you are using. So with me, I use smaller brushes through stencil work. If you're going to be using coloring die cuts, you can use finger daubers. If you're doing backgrounds like I just did, you want a bigger brush, otherwise you're going to be there forever. But whatever brush that you use, I always like dedicate that brush to those inks. All right, so you can have one for warm colors, and look at that, I'm going to do this again because I really want to build up that black. All right, stunning. So that's what I mean, it didn't matter how my blending was, because once you put the black on there, it is just stunning. So I'm going to go in and with my VersaFine Clair, I'm going to build up that black again. Now, I didn't touch this paper because that's still stuck on kind of the raised edge. So I'm just leaving it there because we're just going to fold this over. It's in place already, all right? So I don't have to worry about that. Okay. In terms of the black ink to use, now this is my go-to ink. You can use any. You could use a dye ink. This is just my go-to one, as you know. I love my VersaFine Clair. All right, so my paper has not moved. I'm just going to put this back down and I'm going to run it through one more time. So basically all I'm doing, you don't need to do a second time, but I'm adding more black so it's a little bit deeper in color. And now I'm doing it backwards. Put the handle on the wrong side, but all right. All right, so we've got this beautiful, now this will just clean off, all right? I'm gonna run that under some water. If it doesn't come off, I'm just gonna use like some dish detergent, clean it, and it will come right off, okay? So I'm not too concerned about that, but let's take a look at this now. Look at how pretty that is. All right, so we're getting that metallic sheen kind of coming through, all right? We're seeing the colors on the metallic sheen coming out on the colors, but we're also getting a slight color or metallic sheen coming through the black because of the base of that. All right. Look how stunning. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. All right. So it's a really cool technique. Now you can do this with any inks. You could do a blended background with Distress inks, with Simon Hurley inks, your Stampin' Up inks, whatever you use to create a blended background, you can do that and then do the black ink or navy blue or dark brown. I had a sample that I did kind of a yellow orange background, and then I did it with red on top. Very, very cool. And then one thing you can do to take this up a notch is that you can spritz this with a shimmer spray, which is really, really cool. So there is that. Maybe you want to do a little shimmer spray? Sure, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so I'm using Lindy's. You either love this product or you don't love this product. All right. There's another product on the market from Imagine Crafts. It's a sheer spray. A lot of people like that one. I've never had a problem with Lindy's, but you know, some people do. So I've shaken that up, and now I'm just going to spritz this. And now we've got lots of shimmer going on here. That will dry, and we'll have this speckly finish on there. All right. So I'm going to let that dry. All right. Techniques I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to bring everything back out just to show everyone as this one is drying. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. All right, so we've done it on kind of a cool technique with an embossing folder on the black. We did our metallic inks on white. All right, we've done it on colored paper. We're going to incorporate those two together and make a card with that off camera. And then, where's my other one? Where's my lovely black one? I've lost it. Wait. I don't know where I did with it. Like, honestly, I have really lost it. Okay, well, I've really lost it, and I'm not sure what I did with it, but I will find it. And then what I'll do is I'll just mount these on cards, bases, add a sentiment off camera, and then I'll post my finished samples tomorrow morning so you can see the finished samples. But these are the metallic inks from Lisa Horton. Guys, they are really, really awesome. You're going to see me playing around with these ones because I think I'm slightly addicted to them. All right. So 10 colors in the in the family. Not a big, I love the fact they only came out with 10. That makes it a little bit more manageable to do. I really have lost my other sample, but it will show up. It will. I put it somewhere safe. All right, but I'll post those samples tomorrow when they are all done. And that is the Lisa Horton metallic ink. So thanks for joining me live as well as on the rewatch, everyone. If you have any questions about these inks, just go ahead and message me and I'll answer you. And until then, everyone, have yourself a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye.